XRP, they just said this. This is the important thing. What did they just say?
Talk about the future price of XRP. I want to run some numbers with you and also talk to you about the Ripple and SEC case. Guys, we just got some comments out of the SEC. I want to get on your radar. A lot put out in this quick video, I think.
So what happened with XRP is XRP just had a momentum this past month.
Hey, this is from the horse's mouth. Chairman Paul Atkins literally saying now they can foster innovation here in the States, move forward. It's clear what direction they're going, and it's also clear the relationship they have with Ripple now.
So yeah, Ripple just got bought out. Well, Robinhood bought out Bitstamp, which Bitstamp is building RWA, real world asset application on the ledger, Ripple ledger, which is a very big momentum for Ripple overall. And I love Multimedia because he always records in his car for some reason.
A price set based off what Ripple and institutions, financial institutions, went to the table and discussing in the negotiation stage. Now, I want to go all the way back to 2011, May 27th, where Jed McCaleb, one of the co-founders, right, was talking about building a better Bitcoin.
So yeah, banks are going like now from basically not wanting to work with it to we're finally getting the final confirmation for crypto. This is the most important factor we have been. This is the big confirmation before everything changes, right? Here it is. XRP has been awaiting for this moment where the government is going to be literally like, yes, RWA is the future, XRP, and they mentioned XRP in the documents, which made XRP rise up shortly.
How much will be spent mining if the network ever gets large? It would be cool to come up with a Bitcoin that doesn't need miners.
So again, like they're talking about Bitcoin all the time, but it's going to be XRP that is going to be transferring all these transactions. That is why in the future, more and more people could focus to Ripple and XRP.
The rest is history. Again, a couple other paragraphs he wrote on this. Essentially, that's what they did. They built a better Bitcoin called XRP that's faster, more efficient, scalable, right? And when we take a look at what...
And there's a lot of people, you know, in Bitcoin who hate XRP because they're saying this is like pro-government. It should be anti-government. But the reality is Ripple and XRP really helped a lot in crypto. They really joined a lot of discussions, finished a lot of tasks, and actually advised the governments on how to make XRP and crypto useful. So that's one thing that they've been doing.
In those court documents, we've got way more NDAs at this point in time. You know, numerous NDAs have come to Ripple since then. We take a look at what's coming with that and the negotiations that happen there. As we know,
it just makes you think how many of these partnerships are coming from XRP that are currently not available for a very simple reason that they just cannot talk about it yet.
That they had to have talked about price because of two things, liquidity and volatility. You cannot have too much volatility when moving large sums of liquidity, when we're talking about billions and billions in transactions happening all day, every day. We know Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said that he believes they'll capture about 14% in the coming years of SWIFT. We're talking about a massive amount of volume.
So yeah, SWIFT is the number one key player, but of course there's like a new kid on the block. It is Ripple and it's trying to get this big amount.
Volume, bringing capital, liquidity to the XRPL. Well, ArchX here today wrote, meet XRP, the native token of the XRPL. XRP is designed to enable cost-efficient cross-border payments and liquidity. That's a big one here. Last year, the CEO, Graham Rodford, talked in 2024 about how even this year, 2025 Q4, he believes we could see 30 to 50 trillion moving on the XRPL.
Now that's pretty crazy. 30 to 50 trillion would mean that this would be, like he said that a year ago, and now it's 5 months left and we were going to see 30 to 50 trillion. That's like basically the US debt. I don't see that happening. Maybe people were saying that in theory, but this obviously cannot happen right now. but now seeing 20 billion, because Ripple is still in testing phase, it just got the lawsuit over, there is still a lot of positive news that, when Ripple goes out, this RW8 partnership that they just have, that I talk on every single one of my videos, now that's the next big thing that people are pushing for.
Trillions are coming for cross-border payments.
I mean, trillion, like 30 to 40 trillion, maybe in transaction is going to be hard too. Like all of that is going to be hard. But what Ripple is doing is it has a big community in Korea of traders that will potentially push Ripple to all-time high.
Middle of it all because of the connections we have with, or XRP and Ripple has with, these institutions. And so projections and numbers, those are the type of things that we really need to dig deep in. And again, this is part 1 of part 2. When we take a look at the future price of XRP and understanding that it cannot be cheap. And so I know that in this,
I feel like it was under tapped before. It was definitely under tapped when it was 20, 30 cents. Whales kept buying, but as soon as the lawsuit was over, you could not get it below $1. I just feel like it was super under tapped to get it at that price point.
this community, we've got both beginners and experts.
Like if the governments are talking about it now, why would it ever go back to 20 cents or $1 when the governments hated it before and turned against it? Now they're they're working with it. It literally went a full 180.
What I would consider experts that have been in XRP for several years, watch the cryptocurrency market every single day, trade, understand, blockchain from a deeper sense. But together, collectively, we can help each other in understanding that, at least this is what I believe, that retail can drive the price of XRP up so much, but not to a high value that is coming for XRP. Retail can bring it to $5, $10.
I feel like a lot of people don't talk about retail, how important this is. Like 2021 was all about retail, and now we are talking all about institutions plus retail. So I feel like the institutions are going to come first with the ETFs, and next up is going to be retail, as people talk about. It might not be as big as 2021, but it will definitely leave an impact.
But those out there telling you the top of the cycle is $20 to $30, and then that's it, and we're going back to $5 as we start to see regulations completely solidified here in the US, where I'm located, as well as globally, I think is very, very naive. And so that's my message here today. And talking about, as this is part 1 of 2, about where the price of XRP is going, not telling you what to do with your hard-earned money. If you plan to take profits at $20, $30, more to you. But again, understanding the ability to move your capital around, to use it for lending options, and the ability to create further wealth, and knowing where the price of XRP is truly going and what it was designed.
Like $30 this cycle, it's too crazy. But the issue is here, right now we still don't have retail investors in, which is both good and bad, right? Because if we have retail investors in, XRP would be already pumping to $7. But what we do have is institutional investors. Only 0.008% of institutions own crypto at all. And that's a big momentum when the ETF gets approved. Not if. My personal opinion is it will get approved. And we saw that, a lot of institutions from basically crypto, like Bitcoin and Ethereum, started buying. It is very much, a potential here to see that, like for XRP. We could be seeing XRP pumping to $12 that way. Retail could be one factor, but so could be institutions. So Ripple retail is coming. This is the one I wanted to show you.